As a man grows older, he often wakes to find his body isn't what it used to be. The stairs feel steeper than they once did, demanding more effort with each step. The long hours he once worked with ease now weigh heavier on his shoulders and mind. Silver strands begin to appear at his temples, marking the passage of time with quiet persistence. His reflection in the mirror shows subtle changes that speak of years lived and experiences gained. This marks the start of a profound and humbling transformation that every man must face. Yet an even deeper realization comes when he notices how his relationships begin to shift around him. His children, once the center of his universe and the focus of his daily thoughts, now lead their own independent lives. They are building families of their own, pursuing dreams he may not fully understand, and setting new priorities that don't always include him. They no longer revolve around him like planets around the sun, their schedules and concerns taking precedence. Their phone calls become brief moments of connection rather than lengthy conversations filled with shared experiences. Their voices become faint reminders of the closeness they once shared during their formative years. The house that once buzzed with their energy now feels quieter, echoing with memories of busier times. Even a spouse, with whom he has shared decades of life's joys and sorrows, can sometimes feel like a polite stranger. The passion and intensity of youth gradually fade into comfortable but predictable routine. They live like well-mannered roommates, sharing space and responsibilities, but not always hearts. Conversations may become functional rather than intimate, focusing on practical matters rather than dreams. They find themselves occasionally irritated by familiar habits or simply indifferent to each other's presence. The spark that once ignited their relationship may flicker rather than burn brightly. Friends, too, begin to slip away like autumn leaves carried by the wind. Some are lost to the simple passage of time and changing circumstances. Others must battle illness, aging, or personal crises that consume their attention and energy. Those who remain are often too busy with their own families and obligations to meet regularly. Social gatherings become less frequent, and when they do occur, conversations are filled with old stories told many times before. These meetings are punctuated by uneasy silences as they struggle to find common ground in their evolving lives. The easy camaraderie of earlier years gives way to more formal interactions. This moment of recognition brings a chilling truth that shakes a man to his core. The things he has always relied upon for stability and meaning are not as permanent as he once believed. His physical health, once taken for granted, shows signs of vulnerability and decline. His family relationships, once central to his identity, become more distant and complex. His friendships, once sources of regular joy and support, require more effort to maintain. Like sandcastles lovingly built but inevitably swept away by the relentless tide, these supports can vanish. This realization forces him to face a stark and uncomfortable question that echoes in quiet moments. What can he truly depend on in his later years when so much seems uncertain? Here, the timeless American ideal of self-reliance, powerfully embodied by Benjamin Franklin, offers profound and practical guidance. Franklin, who rose from the most humble beginnings to become a towering figure in American history, understood fundamental truths about human nature. He recognized that in a world of constant change and uncertainty, the only enduring foundation lies within oneself. His life serves as a masterclass in building inner strength that can weather any storm. Franklin's wisdom teaches us that external circumstances will always fluctuate, but internal qualities can remain steadfast. Self-reliance, as Franklin demonstrated, is not about isolation, selfishness, or rejecting the company of others. Instead, it is about cultivating an inner strength and resilience that endures life's inevitable uncertainties. It means developing the capacity to find fulfillment and purpose even when external supports falter or disappear. Franklin's remarkable life shows that while external supports like wealth, relationships, or physical vitality may indeed falter, certain inner qualities remain steadfast through all seasons of life. These essential qualities are wisdom, character, and independence. These virtues, built through deliberate effort and conscious choice, actually grow stronger with time rather than weaker. They shine brightest in moments of solitude or adversity when other supports have fallen away. They form an invisible capital that no economic downturn, personal betrayal, or physical ailment can take away. This inner wealth becomes a legacy that deepens and enriches with age rather than diminishing. Wisdom is far more than simply knowing facts or accumulating information. True wisdom involves gaining deep insight and understanding through a lifetime of careful reading, thoughtful reflection, and meaningful experience. Franklin, who was a tireless and voracious reader throughout his entire life, saw knowledge as both a tool for continuous self-improvement and a shield against life's unpredictability. He understood that learning must be a lifelong pursuit rather than something that ends with formal education. Franklin believed that every book opened new worlds of possibility and understanding. He saw reading as a conversation with the greatest minds in human history. As we age and experience the inevitable losses that come with time, we lose much that once defined us. We lose the physical vitality and energy of youth that once seemed limitless. We may lose social status, professional identity, or the roles that once gave our lives structure and meaning. We may even lose loved ones who provided emotional support and companionship for many years. But wisdom, carefully nurtured through books and reflection, only grows richer and more valuable with time. A novel read at 20, when we were primarily driven by its exciting plot and surface entertainment, transforms dramatically when revisited at 60. The same story reveals deeper truths about loss, resilience, human nature, or the inevitable passage of time. Characters we once saw as simple become complex, and themes we missed entirely emerge with startling clarity. Philosophy, which may have seemed abstract and irrelevant in youth, becomes a mirror to the soul in later years. It offers clarity and perspective amid life's storms and uncertainties. The great philosophical questions about meaning, purpose, and human nature become personally relevant rather than academic exercises. Reading becomes more than entertainment. It becomes a form of conversation with history's greatest minds. Through books, one can sit with Franklin himself, absorbing his practical insights about human nature and success. One can ponder Shakespeare's profound reflections on love, ambition, mortality, and the human condition. These literary encounters endure long after human conversations have ended. They offer companionship and wisdom when human connections fade or become unavailable. In the quiet hours of later years, when social circles naturally shrink and solitude increases, a good book becomes a loyal friend. It fills solitude with purpose, meaning, and intellectual stimulation that keeps the mind active and engaged. Modern science strongly supports Franklin's intuitive understanding of reading's benefits. Research shows that regular reading sharpens cognitive function and keeps the mind agile as the body naturally slows. Reading reduces stress levels, lowers blood pressure, and promotes emotional well-being in measurable ways. It fosters resilience by exposing us to different perspectives and showing us how others have overcome challenges. Regular readers maintain better memory function and show reduced risk of cognitive decline in later years. The mental exercise of following complex narratives and processing new information keeps neural pathways active and healthy. Franklin's own life provides compelling proof of reading's transformative power. When he arrived in Philadelphia as a young man, he possessed little more than burning ambition and a willingness to learn. He turned to books not just for knowledge but for practical guidance on how to live successfully. His relentless pursuit of learning through reading shaped him into a master printer who understood his craft completely. Books guided his development as a writer who could communicate complex ideas with clarity and wit. Reading transformed him into a scientist who made groundbreaking discoveries about electricity and natural phenomena. Literature and philosophy shaped him into a statesman who could navigate complex political situations with wisdom and diplomacy. Each book he consumed was another step toward building a mind capable of navigating life's greatest challenges. His commitment to reading created a mind that grew stronger, wiser, and more capable with every page turned. Franklin's intellectual appetite never dimmed, even in his final years, proving that the pursuit of wisdom truly is a lifelong journey. Character represents the sum total of a lifetime's choices, refined through adversity and tempered by deep reflection. Franklin's famous pursuit of moral perfection, demonstrated through his careful tracking of virtues like temperance, industry, justice, and sincerity, shows that character is not something we are born with but something we deliberately cultivate. Character development requires conscious effort, honest self-examination, and the courage to change ingrained habits. Franklin understood that character building is perhaps the most important work any person can undertake. His systematic approach to virtue development involved daily self-monitoring and regular course corrections. He believed that small, consistent actions in the right direction would eventually create significant character transformation. In later years, when external roles begin to fade away and social identity becomes less important, character becomes the primary factor that defines how a man faces the world. Professional titles, social positions, and external achievements may lose their relevance, but character endures. Character is the inner courage to act with integrity even when no one is watching or when such actions bring no external reward. It includes the humility to learn from mistakes and the wisdom to admit when we are wrong. Character provides the moral compass that guides us through periods of loneliness, doubt, or uncertainty. When family members move away or friends grow distant due to circumstances beyond our control, character becomes the inner foundation that keeps us grounded and purposeful. Franklin faced numerous challenges that tested his character throughout his long life. He experienced financial ruin that threatened his security and forced him to start over. He endured harsh public criticism from political opponents who questioned his motives and abilities. He suffered personal losses that brought deep grief and forced him to question his beliefs. Yet through all these trials, his commitment to his core principles never wavered or bent. This steadfastness and moral consistency made him not just a man of his particular time and place but a timeless example of resilience and integrity. His character became his most valuable asset, earning him trust and respect that lasted throughout his life. Franklin's reputation for honesty and reliability opened doors that might otherwise have remained closed. His moral integrity became the foundation for all his other achievements and contributions. Independence, in Franklin's philosophy, represents the mental fortitude and emotional strength to rely primarily on oneself. This quality goes far beyond simple financial independence, though financial stability is certainly important. True independence includes the psychological resilience to maintain one's sense of purpose and identity even when external supports disappear. Franklin's remarkable journey from a penniless apprentice with few prospects to a founding father who helped shape a nation was built entirely on this quality of self-reliance. His story proves that background and circumstances need not determine destiny when one cultivates genuine independence of mind and spirit. Independence does not mean rejecting others or refusing help when it is offered and needed. Rather, it means cultivating an inner strength that endures and sustains us when others are absent or unavailable. It involves developing the capacity to find purpose and meaning in solitude, rather than depending entirely on social interaction for fulfillment. Independence includes the ability to make important decisions with clarity and confidence, even under pressure. It means facing life's uncertainties without paralyzing fear or dependence on others for emotional stability. A truly independent person can weather setbacks, adapt to changing circumstances, and maintain optimism even during difficult periods. In later years, as external supports naturally fade away due to death, distance, or changing circumstances, this kind of resilience becomes an essential lifeline. Independence provides the psychological resources to cope with loss, adjust to new realities, and continue growing personally. It offers the freedom to pursue interests and activities that bring genuine satisfaction rather than merely seeking approval from others. Independent individuals can face aging with dignity rather than desperation, finding new sources of meaning as old ones fade. Franklin firmly believed that every person must ultimately be his own master, actively shaping his destiny through discipline, foresight, and intelligent choices. This mindset enabled him to consistently turn adversity into opportunity throughout his varied career. When faced with problems, he looked for creative solutions rather than simply complaining or giving up. His invention of the lightning rod came from his refusal to accept that lightning strikes were simply acts of fate to be endured. His diplomatic successes resulted from his ability to find common ground and creative solutions when others saw only conflict. His business innovations came from his willingness to experiment with new approaches rather than blindly following tradition. For the aging man who embraces Franklin's philosophy, independence means embracing the freedom to define his own path forward. This freedom exists even as the world changes around him and familiar landmarks disappear. Independence allows him to pursue new interests, develop untapped talents, and explore different aspects of his personality. Rather than feeling trapped by age or circumstances, the independent man sees opportunities for continued growth and contribution. He can adapt to new realities while maintaining his core sense of self and purpose. These three essential virtues of wisdom, character, and independence do not fade or diminish with the passage of time. In fact, unlike external supports that may weaken or disappear, these inner qualities actually grow deeper and stronger through use and practice. They become more valuable and more reliable as we age rather than less so. While physical strength may decline and social connections may change, these inner resources remain unshaken by loss or disappointment. They provide a stable foundation that can support us through any circumstance life may bring. Franklin's extraordinary life demonstrates that self-reliance is not a selfish or solitary pursuit, but actually a gift to others and to society. His wisdom, gained through decades of reading and reflection, ultimately informed and guided the formation of a new nation. His strong character inspired trust and confidence in others, making him an effective leader and negotiator. His independence enabled him to think creatively and propose innovative solutions to complex problems. These qualities made him more valuable to his community, not less connected to it. His example shows that personal development and social contribution go hand in hand rather than conflicting with each other. In his later years, even as his physical body began to weaken with age, Franklin's mind and spirit remained vibrantly alive. He continued writing, inventing, and contributing to public discourse well into his 80s. His inner resources had grown so strong that physical limitations could not diminish his sense of purpose or his ability to influence others positively. He became a beacon of wisdom and inspiration for those around him, proving that aging can be a time of continued growth rather than inevitable decline. His example demonstrates that those who build strong inner foundations can remain vital and contributing members of society regardless of their physical limitations. For the man who finds himself facing life's fragility and uncertainty, Franklin's philosophy offers a clear and practical path forward. The solution lies not in denying the reality of aging and loss, but in preparing for these inevitabilities by building inner strength. By systematically cultivating wisdom through regular reading and reflection, he keeps his mind sharp and engaged with the world. By developing character through principled choices and ethical behavior, he builds a foundation of integrity that brings peace and self-respect. By fostering independence through mental fortitude and self-reliance, he ensures that no external loss can strip him of his fundamental purpose or capacity for joy. These three pillars work together to create a stable and fulfilling life structure that can withstand any storm. Books truly become lifelong companions for those who embrace Franklin's approach to wisdom. They offer solace during difficult times and provide fresh insights during periods of growth and change. A personal library becomes a treasure trove of accumulated wisdom, available for consultation whenever guidance is needed. Character, once firmly established, provides unshakable strength when the world feels unstable or uncertain. It offers a moral compass that points toward right action even in complex or ambiguous situations. Independence ensures that a man can stand tall and maintain his dignity regardless of the circumstances he faces. It provides the psychological resources to adapt to change while maintaining core identity and values. Self-reliance, properly understood, is not about turning away from others or rejecting human connection and community. Instead, it is about anchoring oneself in something unshakable and permanent that exists within rather than depending entirely on external circumstances. It means building inner resources that can sustain us when outer supports fail or become unavailable. This approach actually makes us better friends, family members, and community participants because we contribute from strength rather than neediness. We can offer support to others because we are not desperately seeking it for ourselves. As the years pass and the world inevitably shifts around us, the man who has systematically built these inner virtues discovers that he is never truly alone. He carries within himself a rich inner life that provides companionship, purpose, and meaning. His accumulated wisdom offers guidance for any situation he may encounter. His developed character provides the strength to face challenges with grace and dignity. His cultivated independence gives him the freedom to choose his responses rather than simply reacting to circumstances. Like Franklin himself, such a man possesses within himself a legacy of wisdom, character, and independence. This inner legacy represents a foundation that time cannot erode, circumstances cannot shake, and death cannot diminish. It becomes a source of strength not only for himself but for all those whose lives he touches along the way.